The Flying Six are very intriguing. They're very goddamn intriguing. In the past two chapters, chapter 978 and 979, the Flying Six have kind of gone a bit above what I expect them to be. I'm not gonna front with you. I compare the Flying Six directly to the Big Mom Pirate senior officers. So people like Perospero and Daifuku and Oven and so on. These are the top brass of the Big Mom Pirates, ministers and so on, outside of the commanders Cracker, Smoothie, and Katakuri. And Snacks I kind of put in this role as well, but he's more like in the upper echelon. He's a commander, true, but he was a former commander because there was 4 of these guys. So I kind of see Snacks and Oven and Daifuku and Perospero in the same way. Therefore, I see Drake and Black Maria and Who's Who and Sasaki in the same way. But the dynamic in the Big Mom crew and the dynamic in the Beast Pirates are worlds apart. They hate their superiors, meaning the commanders or the lead performers, if you want to use the Viz translation. They don't like Jack, they don't like Queen, and they don't like King. In particular, Queen and the King specifically were noted in the past 2 chapters, and they don't like it. So in chapter 978, after Queen is trying to call for the Tobi Roppo, huh? Where we at? They don't say anything anyway. Ulti gets sassy, like, wait, are you serious? This ever so obnoxious man beast. How dare he? How dare he do that? And then Who's Who comments on, let's say if Queen were to die tonight. Does Who's Who have plans?
Today, the plan is simple.
Like, the man has plans to lob some heads and climb the ranks. Who's Who makes the statement of, okay, if Queen were to die tonight, who do you think the next lead performer would be? Black Maria talks back. Wait, hold on. She claps back a bit. Hold on. I'm guessing it'd be. I'm guessing you think it's gonna be you, sir. And Drake, yeah, you know,
I'm not playing these games.
I'm not interested, dog. And then Sasaki, all right, good. If we're driving out, fine, Drake, good. You know what? Because you know what? You and Page One, and no, they were the 2 guys that went after Sanji. And that mission was a bust.
Mission failed.
So both Drake and Page One went after Sanji. They failed. Know how Sasaki calls those 2 out and saying both you and Page One can't cut it. So Page One, you dropping out too? Page One, what? I like this competition in the Flying Six. I do. And then how in the latest chapter, 979, King was the one that called the Flying Six, not Kaido. When that's revealed, they get pissed. Like, wait, King, this was your idea? What the hell? And then King explains how, listen, I know that a few of you guys weren't gonna come if I called you guys up. He calls out specifically Who's Who and Sasaki says, yeah, you got me. You got me. He notes how those 2, or some of the Flying Six, were former captains. So as far as I know right now, it's Who's Who, Sasaki, and Drake, former captains of their own crews. The fact that King had to trick the Flying Six into coming to the meeting in the first place is a clear indication of how this crew, how the meritocracy in the Beast Pirates is relatively fierce. Because not only does Who's Who mention, yeah, like, this is meritocracy, so of course aiming high, King tells him to shut up, like, know your role. Like, know your role. I'm King, I'm a lead performer, shut up, stay in your place, know your role. Respect that. And yet, the Flying Six don't. So if Who's Who beats Jack, or if Who's Who beats Queen, he takes that role, I'm assuming. Or maybe Jack levels up to Queen, and Who's Who is now the new Jack. However that works exactly. But it keeps their skills sharp. It keeps them on their toes. And that aspect of the Beast Pirates, I do like. I definitely do like. And Kaido's all for it. Jack and King, any day, any week, anytime, bring it on. Who's Who, Sasaki, Black Maria, Page One, Ulti, they're ready for the chance. They're ready for the chance to rise in the ranks. And it doesn't seem like Kaido himself, I mean, granted, it's Kaido, but the disrespect, which by the way I love, the disrespect that Sasaki and Who's Who, potentially Drake and, you know, so on, that they have for the commanders does not apply for Kaido himself. In fact, Sasaki said repeatedly that he wanted to come have a drink with Kaido. Not any of these second rates, which he alludes to the other flying 6 being second rates, not the commanders, no, it was Kaido. Sasaki wanted a drink with Kaido. And part of the reason why, but potentially the main reason why, the Flying Six and the Commanders don't get along, if these guys were former captains of the crew, similar to how Hawkins was taken in by Kaido to join the Beast Pirates, and that was against his will, maybe the same thing applies for the Flying Six, in particular, Who's Who, Sasaki. Drake is a different case, obviously. Maybe Black Maria ulti, like who the hell knows? But what if most of the Flying Six were actually forced to submit and join the Beast Pirates, not by Kaido, but by the other commanders? So Sasaki and Who's Who are clapping back at King. In the previous chapter, 978, Ulti is clapping back at Queen, calling Queen like a beast of a man, and so on and so forth. In the same way Hawkins was forced to submit to the Beast Pirates by Kaido, it could be the case where in the past, King beat Who's Who and Sasaki, and then he forced them to join the Beast Pirates. Queen beat, let's say, Ulti and Page 1, maybe even Black Maria, and then forced them to join the Beast Pirates. There's a possibility where the Flying Six, the Tobi Roppo, have a genuine grudge against the commanders, because the commanders were the ones that beat them in the past and forced them to join the Beast Pirates. Now, ultimately, they seem to be relatively okay with Kaido himself, because when Ulti snaps at Kaido, in chapter 978, they're like, no, snap at anybody but Kaido. And how Sasaki, again, wants to have a drink with Kaido. So Kaido's like a lad. Like, Kaido to them, for the most part, it's a lad. Again, Ulti snaps here or there, but that's what she does. But again, the commander's like, nah, man, like, yo, screw these dudes. Like, King, nah, man, like, we coming for you, King. It is what it is. I like that. This could be a dynamic that Oda can genuinely build something really good on. Like, this could genuinely flourish and be like a cornerstone, a key component of this arc, where this competition between the Flying Six and the commanders can be fleshed out very potentially in flashbacks, and also can have major impact in this arc. One of the things I've had a problem with is the possibility of the commanders, King, Queen, Jack, being defeated one-on-one by other members of the Straw Hats. Now, the captains, like for example, let's say that Queen or King's main fight for this arc is going to be Law or Kid. Okay, fine. But the other Straw Hats, like Zoro and Sanji, in my mind, they really don't have much business taking on commanders, specifically 2nd Division commanders and up. I don't think they're that strong at this point in time. And just to clarify, when I say take on, I mean defeat, like genuinely defeat in a one-on-one fight. Because we're talking about people that are on the same level as Smoothie, Katakuri, Lucky Roo, Ben Beckman, potentially, even Sabo, you can say, is in that camp as well when it comes to overall power. Luffy has grown exponentially so, true. But Sanji, Jinbei, Zoro, Frankie, no. I think it's very hard to give them that courtesy. I genuinely do. So this competition between the Flying Six and the commanders can lead to opportunities for the Straw Hats to take on the commanders potentially if, let's say, for example, let's say it is going to be Zoro against King. Well, what if King fought against Who's Who before he fought against Zoro? And then as a result, King is not at 100% power. Then if Zoro beats King in that way, it makes more sense if Zoro beats King. The same could apply for, let's say, Ulti or Black Maria and Queen, and let's say it's Sanji gets Queen later on. Because right now, even though the pre-time skip dynamic was Luffy was in the same sphere of power as Zoro and Sanji, I can't say that at all, because Luffy has gone through tremendous growth, where again, I cannot say the same thing for Zoro and Sanji. They got power-ups, true, but Luffy has my God.
My God. This brother.
Like, it has been ridiculous how powerful he's gotten. It is ridiculous. But of course, it's also predicated on the dynamic of Katakuri and King, which I'll save for another video entirely, absolutely. So, I do like what I'm seeing here with the Flying Six. Oda can make that into something genuinely worthwhile and purposeful in this arc, 100%. And one of the ways in doing so would be revealing that it was the commanders, it was King, it was Queen, it was Jack that subjugated these former pirate crews led by Who's Who, Sasaki, and so on, and they joined the Beast Pirates because of them. And actually, that reminds me a bit of what happened with Ace and Whitebeard in the past, where Ace and his Spade Pirates were beaten by the Whitebeard Pirates, and Ace hated Whitebeard for a period of time. He hated Whitebeard for a period of time. He even tried to kill him in his sleep. Of course, that failed because, you know, man was goddamn Chad even in sleep. That being said, the Spade Pirates ultimately were assimilated into the Whitebeard Pirates. And what's very fascinating in this chapter 979 is that we see a girl named Bao Huang, or Bao Huang, how her name is pronounced. And Bao has the eye symbol on her, which is the same symbol that Sasaki has on his chest. So it could be the case where Bao was a former member of Who's crew. Wait a minute now. Bao could be a former member of Who's crew that was ultimately assimilated into the Beast Pirates. That would be dope. Oda has the potential to make this dope. And very similar to how, and I think it's canon, it could be filler, but very similar to how Ace subjugated Doma, one of the allied captains of the Whitebeard forces. Doma wasn't beaten by Whitebeard, at least in the anime, because again, I'm not sure if it's canon or not in the manga. But in the anime, I do recall Ace and Thatch teaming up to defeat Doma and his crew. And then later on, we see how they join the Whitebeard Pirates as an alliance, as allied forces. So King doing the same thing that Ace did to, let's say, Who's crew, that would make for a pretty nice flashback. Oh, absolutely 100%. So the Flying Six are definitely more intriguing than I thought they were, like for damn sure. And I thought they'd be like more guys, kind of like Drake and Page 1, but Drake's like the strongest of the Flying Six. But no. The Flying Six are from top to bottom, all right? Whoever the bottom is, which I think could be Black Maria, whoever the top is, who could be Who's Who or Sasaki, this dynamic for sure has potential. And I'm looking forward, tremendously so, to what Oda can deliver. Again, I love this idea, but Oda has to deliver. I could be wrong, of course, obviously. I could be wrong, and Oda could just keep it simple, all right? And ultimately speaking, they're just stepping stones. But they could also be main fights. Like, that's kind of the beauty of the Flying Six. Because in my mind, I really want to see Marco and King. If Marco shows up, I mean, my God. Marco and King, whew, like it would remind me a bit of Gonfall and Shura and Skypiea. Like the aerial combat, Wings Ahoy, doing flaming kicks, the blue fire of Marco, the red fire of King, and even though King has a nice sword, he hasn't used it yet, and in the anime, he's doing flaming kicks. If it's not gonna be Sanji and King, alright, fine. It could be Zoro and King, but it also could be Zoro and Who's Who. Again, Luffy is just a bit much when it comes to his strength, I would argue, compared to the rest of his crew. He's a bit much, isn't he? Like, Luffy's disgusting. But Who's Who, if he's that confident against someone like King, I would still say that King is stronger, no doubt. But if Who's Who is, let's say, even stronger than Snacks, I mean, my God, we have a competitor. We have a competitor. So again, what Oda chooses to do with the Flying Six is going to be very, very intriguing. The range of possibilities for them is quite high. Though granted, right? When it comes to Black Maria and Ulti, I'm not too sure if Oda's gonna have the cojones to really follow through, because he hasn't done so at all when it comes to many powerful females in One Piece. But when Hancock is now, quote unquote, dealing with Kobe, and you know, I'm not saying that Kobe.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Brett.
No, I am. I don't think that Kobe's on that Hancock level. I just what? Smoothie did nothing, and she's 2nd Division Commander? Oh, I'm sorry, 2nd Suite Commander of the Big Mom Pirates, and she does virtually nothing? I don't know, man. I really don't know. In my mind, I feel like Black Maria and Ulti are the weakest because they're the females. And in one way, I'm joking, but then in another way, given Oda's track record, it's like, I mean, guys, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Regardless of Ulti and Black Maria, I see potential for damn sure in what Oda can do with the rest of them. Page 1, Sasaki and Husu in particular, those two. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And these guys have a lot of leg room. And they can go as far as being main fights. Main fights for the Straw Hat Pirates. Main fights. So let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand. If we do get a flashback of King subjugating Husu, that'd be, whoo, man, that would be tough. Oh, that'd be tough. But let me know your stance on the matter at hand. Be sure to rate the video. It is not that hard to do. I guarantee you that, because I know that you all have a device called Zamaosu. You use Zamaosu to click, rate the video, to click, subscribe, to click on that bell to join the squad. And of course, once again, feel free to, please do, comment in the comment section down below. Peace, and have a nice goddamn day.